Greetings humanity, and welcome back to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the Frozen Soul, the Monday night story arc in our Waking Nightmares campaign. I can't talk. This is the Monday night story arc in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody. It has been several forevers, so we will all remember who we are and who we're playing. And so we're going to go around and we will start with Nash. Hello.
Hi, I'm Nash, also known as Theater Nerd on the internet. On Friday, I played a game of Blood on the Clock Tower, which if you like social deduction, I highly recommend. But I forgot that my Zoom name defaulted to this and got called by my character's name. That's your fun fact about Nash for the day. That nobody else can see, but I felt like sharing.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. I'll have to go back and find that game later. And now we shall head over to Jimbeaux. Hello.
Hey, I'm Jimbeaux. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Colm this game, and if we're going with fun facts, giraffes experience REM sleep and dream when they are adolescent and younger. When they become adults, they stop dreaming, but they start dreaming again when they become elderly.
I actually had heard that not too long ago. It's fascinating, really. So it's really there's this period of time when giraffes are safe from the Mad City, but you just gotta wait for them to age back into it. Excellent.
You gotta put that in a game now.
I know, right? The temptation, just too strong.
Go to the Garden District. I want to see if there's giraffes in the Garden District.
There could be. Well, there are now. Now we are going to head over to Celeste. Hello.
Hello, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I'm here, and I'm going to be playing Jeremiah J. Gray, and who is a wedding planner who is in way over his head, as per usual. And I guess if we're going with fun facts, flamingos' heads have to be upside down for them to eat. There you go.
You know, I didn't know that, but it makes a sort of strange sense if you've ever looked at a flamingo and sort of seen what they... Not the plastic ones, obviously, but the ones that actually can move. The way that they move does kind of, yeah. It's very strange. Interesting, though. But now let us head over to Rrok. Hello.
Good evening, I'm Rock and Roll, and that's how you can find me on the internet pretty much anywhere. Tonight I will be playing the role of Dustin Lint, who has been to the Mad City before and is returning once again for new adventures. And with regards to a fun fact, dolphins and whales were actually intended to be part of Starfleet in the Star Trek universe. It's a kind of a little known thing. In fact, you don't even really find out about it until Next Generation. There's actually a scene in one of the episodes, yesterday's Enterprise, where as crew members are leaving 10 forward, you can actually hear a call for somebody to report to Cetacean Sciences.
Right. Forgot about that.
It was originally intended. They never actually got a chance to really do anything with it on screen, but it was intended for them to essentially be considered like really good at navigation and marine sciences.
Yeah. And it makes sense because of Star Trek 4, and they wanted to start to put that in somewhere. That's very cool. I forgot about that. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's a little audio bit, so.
Oddly enough, you've reminded me of a strange fact now, and apparently it's that it's that whales are deer. I won't be explaining that. I just if you ever want to be horrified at some point, look it up, because apparently whales are deer.
I don't know what to do with this.
No, it's best to do nothing. I also will say there's a chance it's the other way around, but I think it's that it's hard to. Yeah. Anyway, so that said, you may see us using.
Wow.
Whilst everyone looks in horror at the whale deer connection, you may see us use safety tools from time to time, perhaps shortly. Like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, then we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic. Or if we say something or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, maybe you reveal one day that you found out that whales are deer, then you can put an O with a question mark after it, and everyone else can respond to that with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, addiction, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you want to see that at any time, and you're watching on Twitch, you can go into the chat and type !DRYH, that's not rest your head, CW for content warning, and then it'll come up there. It will also show up regularly on rotation. Finally, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, what has happened? What indeed has happened? Well, we found our characters a while back. It feels like a month ago, but it was strangely enough only about an hour ago, maybe. That everyone was at a Renaissance festival. Specifically the grounds of a Renaissance festival. They were attending a wedding that was being held there by folks who were involved in the festival. So the festival grounds themselves were closed, but they were there. And at this wedding, there were a number of interesting guests. All of our PCs were there. But then also, this was during the reception. There was a one individual who is Dustin's spark dealer, Hemlock, was there. A person also from the Mad City, or a person who lives in the Mad City, apparently, and just kind of had idly commented that they sort of wanted to see what was going to happen with the ice that Dustin ended up using. They didn't really elaborate why they were curious about it. They were just curious. They said they didn't know what was going to happen. They were just curious. And we found out eventually why they were curious. Apparently, well, what happened? And there's another unusual guest at this. Well, guest, I say loosely. There was someone else who appeared thematically appropriate. Someone dressed in the armor of a red knight. Was there. Eastern European gentleman, apparently. And there came a point where he gave a toast. He gave the toast in rhyme. And he drew his sword and plunged it into this ice sculpture that Dustin had made out of this block of ice that he had acquired from somewhere from Hemlock in the Mad City. And so the center of the sculpture was red. The ice just came that way. Red thing fashioned into the shape of a heart. The knight plunged the sword in. Red mist began seeping out and started to lower the temperature in the room. And the knight then punched one of the grooms in the stomach. This was a double wedding. This was the Hummel Cronin Callahan wedding. And Leo Cronin, a builder carpenter, general handyman around the fair, was abducted by this red knight. His armor began shifting and changing a little bit and becoming more solid. Right? It had been something that's, like partial plate and was becoming more of a full plate type deal. A thing that Lana had noticed just prior to his abduction, Leo did have a tattoo on his arm of a candle wick, in and amongst a number of other tattoos in a sleeve. And that, of course, is a symbol that is one of the symbols of the Wax King, a nightmare entity from the Mad City. One also having been to the Mad City before during our previous arc. So this knight grabs Leo, summons a horse, rides off. I can't remember if the horse was also red. It might have been. But we'll figure that out eventually. Holm tried to stop the knight. Used his madness talent to try to, upon laying hand on her, try to kind of get some idea, some knowledge about the knight. Got a terrifying vision of the knight on a battlefield, and this shrill, raspy voice urging him onward. It's like he's at the point of death, but do you want to live? Just walk through that door. There's him walking through a weird door on the side of a siege tower. And so they those here present took off after the Red Knight. A couple of folks managed to see to witness Hemlock grab a piece of cake, and then head out through a door in the side of one of the porta-johns that shouldn't have been there. They ran after the Red Knight. The Red Knight was on the festival grounds, Renaissance Fair grounds. Followed him into an area that you're not supposed to go near the Renaissance Festival. There's this ring of mushrooms. You're not supposed to go into the ring of mushrooms. The knight went into the ring of mushrooms. Summoned some kind of a thing. Sort of black portal type thing, maybe? Stepped into it, vanished. The problem, of course, is that this was not the only thing, the unusual thing that was happening. See, out of the red mist, tumbling out of the red mist from the sort of the red core of the ice sculpture was this little red dragon that also managed to breathe ice. This blood-colored dragon. Flying through the sky, flapping through the sky, breathing ice. Most of the guests couldn't see this. Because these are all nightmares. And you can only really see nightmares while you're awake. If you're really awake with a capital A, if you've been awake for a very, very long time. They were chasing after this as well. And then it came around for a pass and started breathing cones of ice down onto the ground, and so then they turned around and it was chasing them. Holm did get a shot off at it with, I think, a beer bottle or something similar. Managed to knock it off course. He made it a little more cautious. Jay also took the opportunity to his attempt to herd people, to split into two people. Jay is two people, apparently. So that was a thing that happened. They did that for a bit. Then once people were herded and running in the same direction, they reformed into one person. And yes, they decided to run back to try to figure out some way to get after the well, they were running from this dragon, but there was also like, well, we need to do something because Leo's been kidnapped. So they went out through the door that Hemlock had taken on the side of the Porta-John and found themselves in the Mad City. On a rooftop. It is, it's a little bit after 11, I believe. And, you're all on this rooftop that looks out on this vast complex of twisted buildings, some of them non-Euclidean, a lot of them side by side from different eras. Similarly, the cars and people all look like they're from different eras. There are nightmarish, strange creatures walking amongst the people. On the roof where you presently are, though, it's not incredibly easy to see all of this. You can see the clock tower from where you are. It's actually you're near the you're kind of near the square, the central square, which is circular. It's a clock tower with 13 numbers on it. Big Ben looking affair, dark looking thing. So there are a bunch of crashed planes nearby from all different eras. There are 747s, there are biplanes, there are jets. These husks of different airplanes, as you have come out through this roof access door. And this is what you see. You see these rooftops, this city. There are other things, obviously, that one can zero in on, but there's a lot right now, so you can let me know if there's anything in particular you want to zoom in on and examine. But here's where you are. There's a lot of ductwork up here.
I think there's a moment that Lana tries to lock eyes with Dustin and go, oh shit. We've just turned into Lila for these two people. Also, there's a moment of, oh shit, it's like Lana ended up on a rooftop when she first arrived in the Mad City, and now they're on the rooftop again on their return to the Mad City. Because I don't think Lana has been back in between the first arc and the second arc. So, are Jay and Colm doing anything in particular in this moment?
I think
I feel that Colm just sort of sits down and sighs and says, "Oh, okay, I get it now."
Jay is silent for a long couple of minutes as he's just taking it all in.
I think Lana just lets them be and is more on the lookout for things that we need to be running away from, as opposed to trying to take it all in.
Dustin's kind of looking around. Is there any sign of Hemlock at all, or did they have like too much of a lead? Because are we? You said when you said that we're on the rooftop, are we anywhere near the was it the cafe or whatever?
You'll have to be a little more specific. I'm sorry.
I thought there isn't there like I'm trying to remember it. I have to pull up the map information. Isn't there supposed to be like on the rooftops there's like a cafe under the stars or something like that?
There was a cafe. You're not anywhere near that. No, this is
okay.
This place you've been back to the Med City before.
Right.
You have heard of this place. This is the air fort.
Right.
Because apparently planes get lost sometimes. There is a plane actually, the remains of an airplane, which looks like that has like apparently light in the windows, but that's like a big one of the bigger, more modern planes from like just a few years ago. Except for like so the cockpit's gone and most of the tail is gone, but it's sitting up on this sort of rise near sort of metal sheeting. A lot of these roofs are connected with metal sheeting or by ductwork. A lot of ductwork over on these roofs in particular. A lot of sort of odd sort of mechanisms and what have you. But Dustin is looking for. You're trying to see if you see a sign of Hemlock.
That or the Red Knight.
Well, yeah, you think that. Let me see. I'm actually going to call for a roll from you for this, because Hemlock does have a bit of a lead. Let me see if I have there. I'm going to assign Hemlock a pain rating of 3.
Okay.
So this is basically you searching around, see if you can get a sign of her.
Okay. So that's what? That's gonna automatically be a point of exhaustion, right? Or...
Well, I mean, if you want to increase... What's your exhaustion right now?
Right now it's 0.
Okay.
Because of the reset between arcs.
Yeah, so if you want to increase your exhaustion before you roll, you can. That's up to you.
Right.
So that's...
Otherwise, I could use madness instead, though.
Yeah, you can use always 1 to 6 madness if you wish.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and we're gonna throw a thing of madness into the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we get.
I need to do a quick audio check. Things are going to sound weird for a second.
Let's see what we get.
Excellent. Okay. How did we do? You have 2 successes. I have 3 successes. Let's see what's dominating. Madness is dominating. So, we have both. Okay. So here's first off. You need to check Alpha response because madness is dominating.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm going to offer you a choice. So the penalty that I can extract here is I can extract a situational penalty in which you don't find a sign of them, or I can extract a mechanical penalty whereby I ask you to add one exhaustion to go up one exhaustion, and then you do find a sign of her. You do find her.
Oh, we don't have any hope yet. Never mind.
All right. I should say you don't find her, and then something dangerous possibly happens. I should mention that also. Yes. But so the don't find her option is something dangerous possibly happens, but you don't go up an exhaustion. The other option is you find her, but you do go up an exhaustion.
Let's go up a point of exhaustion. Why not? Let's get
All
this
right.
clock ticking.
Excellent. I will point out you do have her number if you need it, but at the same time.
She was,
Yeah, but
right?
I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, that doesn't occur to Dustin right off the bat. It's
sure, that's fine.
Because there was the commotion at the wedding, there was chasing the dragon, now there was running into a porta potty, finding yourself in the Mad City. So I want to say, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you have that piece of information, but with all the adrenaline and everything, it kind of skips your mind.
Okay.
Type deal.
Well, I have some important information for you.
Okay.
So, you manage to so you get to a slightly higher vantage point to kind of look around where you can see kind of the edge of the building. You see that so a couple of things. So first off, you realize that you are in you are on top of District 13 right now. That's where the airport is currently located. So this area, and there is, there is, and folks can even hear this sort of the sound. It's this area is not silent. I mean, you have the sounds of the city, but then you also have the sounds of, like, there. You think there may be people or something near some of the planes. You're not sure. But Dustin, you have headed up, and you see that sort of on the edge, there's so you can see down sort of to one edge of the building, and you see that there's this series of pipes that goes across to the next building, and the next building has a very large turning gear on it, very big, and it has a few different. It has like a sort of an area in sort of off in the middle of the roof where you see there's on that far roof there's a lot more ductwork and several doors, incongruous doors that are up there, and you see crossing the pipe and kind of on the far end of the pipe you see Hemlock. So she's far over there on the next roof. And it looks like she's about to finish crossing the pipe and probably heading for the doors that are over there.
Does she seem to be in a hurry?
No, not especially. She's not trying to, but also it's she had to slow down a little bit at least to cross the pipe. She does not appear to be. No, she's not running from anything or toward anything.
Dustin, so you're gonna turn around and who's closest to me? Is it Lana or Jay or Colm?
Could be Jay. He's like kind of out at the edge of the building looking and like trying to get his head on straight.
Okay. So I think Dustin's just gonna kind of like reach out, tap on the shoulder and be like, this way. And is going to start moving towards the pipes and call out to Hemlock at the same time.
Wait, what? What the fuck is going on?
You, I will say, Lana and Colm, you kind of sort of can see that Jay and Dustin are like over sort of by the edge of the building. They're starting to move sort of like off the edge of the building onto something. You also will note that just sort of, you see some of these planes and that have had like sheet metal welded onto them or things, sort of weird things. They've been here a long time, a lot of these planes. And there are, like, it looks like it's still very distant, but there are people that look like they're very, very, very short people, possibly children, rummaging about in some of the in or near some of the planes. But so you see that, and then you see what Jay and Dustin are doing. And Dustin, when you call out across the divide, you see Hemlock just sort of stops for a second and kind of swings around, and she sort of looks. She's like, and kind of is. Just casually just sort of waves at you, and it looks like she's about to turn and start to continue walking.
Dustin's gonna call out and say, hey, hang on a minute.
And she's at the far end of the pipe. She has hopped down onto the other roof and kind of turned around for a second. She has she's still carrying the cake. She looks up, she's like, what? I got clients. You see what time it is? Or actually, I'm sorry, that's not how she sounds. What? I've got clients. You see what time it is?
And I think Dustin's gonna glance at the clock tower.
Yeah, it's like a little after 11.
And it's just gonna yell out. It's like, what the hell was that?
And she kind of leans on one elbow on the sort of the side of the roof, basically, that comes up and forms a little. I forget. I know there's a term for this. There's an architectural term for what I am thinking of, where the edge of the roof comes up to about your waist. But I can't remember what it's called. Does anyone know what that's called?
Those crenellations?
Kind of, yeah. It's sort of on a castle or something. I think it would be a crenellation, but this is, just more like
or merlins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guardrail?
It's not a guardrail, but it's like the wall of the building comes up higher than the roof a little bit. But anyway, this isn't super important, but whatever that's called, she leans on it, and she starts eating the cake a little bit. And she says, "So Dustin, you asked, what was that?" And she says, "You're gonna have to be a little more specific."
The thing at the whole thing at the wedding there, with the dragon coming out of the ice. What the hell?
He nods. Yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting is a word for it.
Yeah, what about, are you approaching her, or are you just shouting across the rooftops?
Yeah, I'm still trying to cross over.
She sort of looks.
Are you insane? What if you fall?
It'll all be fine.
What? Nothing about any of this is fine, sweetheart.
No. Understand. I get it now. The wedding.
Parapet! Sorry, go ahead. Thank you.
That's a mood.
The wedding's in about a week. My friend Jimmy wants me to go to an ayahuasca ceremony. I've obviously gone. I'm hallucinating like crazy right now.
No.
But it's gonna
You're
be
wrong.
okay.
Calm. Look at me.
Uh-huh.
You're dead ass wrong.
Well, that's what a hallucination would say, wouldn't they? I'm gonna go check out those airplanes. They look interesting.
If you're hallucinating, then I'm hallucinating. And I am not hallucinating.
But how do
No,
you
you're
know?
just overworked and haven't slept in I don't know how many days, Jay.
Doesn't this
How
look
do you know?
like a hallucination? And you know, if you
Because-
haven't slept in a very long time, you do start hallucinating.
How do you
Because-
know that?
Because I've done it before. I once spent 72 hours awake, and I started hallucinating people following me.
Those weren't hallucinations.
Just what a hallucination would say.
Were they cops?
No. They were just some college kids, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's a different district. We shouldn't be shouting, though. she just sort of
Yeah,
looks.
we shouldn't be
she-
shouting.
she-
That's the least of anybody's
She just
concerns
sort of,
right
she
now.
just sort of says, "Well, you know," and she kind of points down over the edge.
She doesn't want to look down.
Okay.
Jane's gonna look down.
Yeah,
Continuing
we'll check it
across,
out.
not looking down.
Yeah.
No better.
So down far below, many stories down below, near the base of this building that has a giant gear on its side turning, you see what looks like a couple of cop cars turn in and start.
Oh God.
And the weird thing about these cop cars is that they have big keys turning in the backs of them, like they're wind up.
Clockwork.
Yeah.
Little wind-up cars. That's adorable.
Anyway, you've got
Lana-
until I finish this cake to for us to have this conversation. Then I got to get going.
Lano secretly wishes Lila is here.
Oh, I could use some cake now.
So,
Good strong beer.
Dustin's gonna continue with it's like, so you didn't know anything about what was in the ice sculpture?
No, I can find. I know where there's some. I know where there's some decent cake. If your friend actually does want some, then a place where they have cake and beer. But you got to watch yourself sometimes when you eat it. This stuff is a little bit better, but it's the way that they did the layering on it is excellent. I really like that. You can't find that quite so much around here. Sorry, what was your question?
The dragon that came out of the ice sculpture.
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't know.
Where did the ice come from?
You remember all sales
I
are
know
final, right?
Yeah, I got you on that one. But,
Okay.
But where did the ice come from? I know you said it came from someone.
Well, I normally like to, I have a supply chain to kind of protect here. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I have. How am I supposed to explain how something got into my ice sculpture and carried off one of the groomsmen at a wedding?
Oh, yeah, that is kind of a dilemma.
Look, we can worry about the details of your supply chain later. I need to be able. We've got to find this guy.
You're lucky I like you. All right. I'll give you this one, but if you mess up, But if you mess this source up for me, then you're gonna have to help me replace it.
Yeah.
All right. He sort of goes fishing through her is kind of puts the cake down on the parapet for a moment and starts fishing through her pockets. Yeah, I got this. I got it somewhere. She eventually comes out with a fishes in her pocket through a bunch of different little wallets and strange sort of clasp devices and things like that, and eventually comes out with a business card that looks like looks almost like it's a little sheet of ice. And she's like, here we go. Liquid Lou, that's right. You know Liquid Lou? You don't know Liquid Lou. That's fine.
That is the fakest name I've ever heard.
I mean, he's made of liquid.
You know who would have a name like that?
A hallucination.
Got it in one.
Lana.
Oh, you're gonna have a real fun. She just sort of looks back and forth between Lana and Dustin. Oh, you're gonna have a real fun trip this time, aren't you?
Yeah, we should probably break the news to them.
She hands Dustin the business card if he wishes to take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Offers it. It's cold. I know that's hard to believe. And so when I last talked to him, he's been operating out of a stand near the Garden District. It's in the same place since you were last here, so so it should be just like over there, far side of 13.
Has the flooding receded since the last time we were there?
Oh, you've been a few months off. Yeah, that was a really weird day. Things coming up out of the sewers. Things are still coming up out of the sewers every now and then. It's really strange.
Oh,
Steam people.
Great.
But yeah, no, it depends on which neighborhoods you're in, though, you know. But yeah, no, that after about a week or two, that kind of calmed down somewhat. And word on the street is the Wax King is pissed still.
Okay, note to self: don't go see my friend the Wax King.
So this business card made out of ice. I suppose we should call it a business shard. Does it have like an address or phone number on it, or?
It has. So the thing about the Mad City is the streets don't have names, because things change so often. Why bother?
Right.
But
or
yeah, you'd have a.
Does he use a point of reference?
It does have a. Yeah, it does have a. I think it says. Hang on, let me get my terminology here correct. Yes. Oh yes. Let's do that. It says Garden District, inner counterclockwise side.
Okay. So, this is not a very thick piece of ice, right? This is a very thin piece of ice.
It is a very thin piece of ice.
So, like, if I drop it, it'll shatter?
It very well might, yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at Hemlock and go, You'll need this?
And she says, Nah, I got him. Otherwise,
And then, okay, and at that point, Dustin's just going to slam it down to the ground so that it breaks.
I guess no one's gonna get it. Gonna get him to that point on. All right.
And then just look at Hemlock and go, there, nothing to tie back to you.
That works. Okay, well, you folks need anything else? She's getting close to the end of this piece of cake.
Nope, that'll be all. And Dustin's gonna turn around and head back across the pipes, and then just before getting to the end, turn around and go, you know, if we get our friend back, there's more cake.
And she shrugs. She says, "Hey, we might be able to work something out. Yeah. I may have a line on might have a line on some clay for you soon, if you're interested."
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And she smiles, and as she does so, she sort of looks back at the clock. She smiles. She says, "Well, time to go to work." And her face changes. Her face shifts, and she now looks like a gray-haired older man. And still wearing the same trench coat and everything, and just sort of nods with the same voice, says, "Be seeing you." And they turn and head towards start walking towards the that central column with a bunch of doors on it.
I think Dustin's just gonna turn to Lana and go, "Remember the Garden District?"
Yeah, that's the reason I asked about the flooding.
Yeah.
But we should probably fill these guys in before too much longer.
If the men find out that we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church.
Yeah, from here you can also get a very good shot of the Penitence District. There are a lot of church-like structures over there.
Oh, Luca.
Where does the Garden District seem to be from where we are? How far away? Is it like the opposite side, or is it closer?
From how things are oriented, you would need to just... You're actually not far from the... Yeah, you wouldn't have to deviate much. You're basically to hit the corner that they're talking about of it. You're on the you're in the clockwise half of District 13 right now, and that is the side on which the Garden District was located last you were here. So in theory, you should be able to go straight across from where you are, and just basically head. Just as long as you're heading outward, then you just keep heading outward, and you should, once you hit the edge of the district, and then you'll be across from the Garden District. And you might want, if you want to cut across or go diagonally, you're going to want to just sort of lean a little bit toward heading counterclockwise a little bit if you want to get closer to the corner there.
So, Jay, to answer your question about how I know you haven't slept in ages and that you're overworked. Well, the overworked is a guess. The fact that you're here tells me you haven't slept in ages.
I don't I don't even know where here is. What is this?
Lana spreads out her hands in a flourish and goes, "You're in the Mad City. I think we're in District 13 specifically."
Isn't that Detroit?
The Motor City.
Oh, sorry. Not from
I've never heard of a. I've never heard of a mad city. Like that sounds so made up.
Most people don't visit, therefore most people don't know.
I think Dustin is going to turn and look and go, it's real simple. You've been awake for so long that you're starting to see things. If you don't tell them that they're hallucinations, things will go a lot smoother. If they know that you know they're hallucinations.
Colm, I need to tell you something briefly because as you seem to be on the edge of this conversation a little bit, I'm going to say that you do notice that as you kind of glance back, they seem to be, you're sort of forming back across in the other direction. So you're back looking in the direction of the air fort. And the children are no longer there. They appear to have, in the time that you had that this conversation happened, they appear to have scattered. They're gone. You don't know why, but it's much quieter up here now. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So just treat the hallucinations as if they're real.
All right.
Is that like when someone has dementia and you don't tell them that they don't remember things?
Sure, we can go with
Don't
that.
tell them the things they've forgotten.
That's just cruel, though, isn't it?
And it's actually kinder than you'd think. We're not going to talk about my experience with that. But okay. Oh, okay. So why are we going further in? Why aren't we leaving? I mean, there's a door. We just came through a door, right? We can just go. We can just go. We can
Lana flourishes again. Do you see a door up here?
It's literally right. Is it there? Is it there?
Yeah, the roof access door that you came through is still here, yes.
Yeah.
It's literally right here. He's gonna go. He's gonna open it.
I bet you money it doesn't open to the fairgrounds.
When I open it, does it?
So, when you open the door, as you go up to the door, you hear this sort of flapping sound as you're getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you open the door?
Yeah.
You open the door.
Okay, we ball. And then he shuts it.
The dragon was sort of flapping around right by the door. There's this blast of cold air. There's this blast of freezing air coming through for a second as you slam the door shut.
So I was wrong, but also you don't want to go back. I mean, you could go, by all means, go back through the door.
If we go to the Garden District, we can find out where they took which room was it? I'm forgetting now.
Leo.
Which one was the one that got carried off?
Leo.
If we go to the Garden District, the hallucinations can help us find out where Leo went.
Rescuing my clients is not anywhere in my job description.
But think of the promotional materials.
But think
Come on, it's fun.
Think of my life and possibly losing it.
Wait,
It'll be fun.
wait, working yourself so that you haven't slept in ages because you can't hire enough people is in your job description?
If I don't work, I don't get money. And if I don't get money, the capitalism. You know how capitalism works.
Holm puts a hand on Jay's shoulder and
Oh, do not touch me right now, darling.
Oh, sorry.
You don't want to be doing that right now.
I was just gonna say that, how about you help us find Leo, you get him out of here, and I give you $30,000.
Can I just have $30,000?
It gives him pause. It gives him significant pause.
And my apologies for putting my hand on your shoulder. It's just the way I get people's attention.
No, it's 30,000? Really? Just like that?
Hey.
Jay.
Well, all right, sugar daddy, let's go.
Okay.
I guess we're finding a missing room.
Jay, you're getting an email. Your phone.
I'm getting an email?
Yeah, your phone.
Where's my phone?
Yeah.
My phone? Hello?
Pops up. There's an email that apparently was sent, like, about a day and a half ago. It's now coming through.
Why am I just getting this now? Who is it from?
This email is from Sophia.
Is she okay?
And it's weird because it's kind of garbled. Some of the words are kind of how do I put this? It's like some of the words are it's like you don't know if this is like a drunk email or what, because some of the words are incomplete. Some of the words, it's like the text goes partial caps on it, and it just basically it says don't know where I am, and it says glass clock.
She's here. She's here.
Ooh.
And it ends. Sorry.
One of my employees went missing. She's here. If what she says in her email is true, he points at the clock. She said there's a glass clock. She's here.
Yeah.
I can't just.
I will point out none of the clocks that you can see right now are made of glass. I'm just going to mention
that's
that.
fine.
He's yeah. Okay, go ahead.
She's gotta be here. If I don't get her out of here, I'm never gonna be able to face her parents.
So you believe this place is real now?
Are you talking to me?
Believe is a strong word, but gotta at least take the chance.
While all this is going on, Dustin is looking to see whether this is going to be a thing where we can go across the rooftops or have to go street level in order to get over to the district.
Excellent. Yes. So it looks like you actually can get across the rooftops. You should be able to go across for most of the way from here. There may be points where you might have to descend lower or go through. There's a lot of ductwork up here. Did I mention there's a lot of ductwork? It's District 13. It's made largely of ducts up here. But so you should be able to get across most of the way by roof. There, of course, might be options if you come across doors. You might try shortcuts, but you never know where those are going to lead. You'll need to. So I mean, it's not entirely certain, but you should be able to get there. You think? There's one thing I just need to take care of. One tiny thing. Hang on. But what you can sort of see in front of you, it's an interesting thing. As you're kind of just sort of moving a little bit among the planes, I presume you're moving ahead to see these things, right? You do
Right.
have to go among the planes to see, to get there from here. And so I think that as you're kind of moving through, you're going to, as you get past the I need to know, is everyone moving with Dustin, or are folks kind of hanging behind?
Well, I was initially just taking a look to see whether or not we were going to be able to do it. I hadn't
Yeah. So I
necessarily
mean,
moved off.
yeah. All right.
So, but I mean, if it looks like we're going to have to go through the airport, I'm going to kind of mention that.
Yeah.
The airport, you say?
Air.
Let's hope this journey isn't a terminal one then, eh?
Yeah. Let's
You're gonna have to step up
let's
the
hope.
jokes there, sweetheart. You're cute, but not that cute.
I don't get anywhere on my looks.
So all jokes aside, I actually hope that this isn't a terminal visit for any of us.
Oh, yeah. So that whole thing about staying awake and, the hallucinations are real and all that, you do have to be careful. They can hurt you here. So,
Great.
Sure.
Great.
Like I said,
That's great.
act like they're real. Treat them like they're real. Danger and all.
I'll definitely be doing that.
So, we need to go that way, and Dustin is going to point in the direction of the airport.
Hey, well, let's take off then.
Yep. Lana's intention is to be behind Colm and Jay, just in case something should come up from behind that they don't have a clue what it is.
Okay.
Suppose having been here before, it would make sense for Dustin to lead the way.
Jay, sensing that Colm is probably the best equipped here for combat, so to speak, is probably going to be glued to his side.
On we go.
So you walk in and around, and it's really weird how quiet it is right here, right now. Between these different planes. And you start to hear every now and then sort of the sound of metal bending a little bit, or just going as things are swaying in the wind, wings of that sort of thing. You get past the hulk of this really big one that's up, that was up a bit of a ways. You kind of have to walk up the side of this sheet metal a little bit. You have to pass fairly close to it. Once you get past it, and you're into this section where you're surrounded completely by these husks of airplanes. You see someone come out of one of the planes. That's kind of far ahead of you. It's one of the passenger planes. That's the one ahead. It's kind of at an angle, where it's like nose downward, right? But you see kind of what looks like, and it's a little bit distant right now. You see someone just sort of bedraggled, kind of coming out of it, looking. They're dressed kind of like, they're dressed like a stewardess. From somewhere in Europe, one of the European airlines. You're kind of wearing a red stewardess uniform, you think? You can't see them terribly well yet. They haven't gotten very close. They sort of come out and they're kind of moving toward you with a slight limp.
Oh, I don't want to talk to her. Can we just...
Is there a way around?
Start looking for a way around, and you see a couple of things. You start looking around, and you see off to your left, looks like there's another one coming out, and they're a little bit closer. And this looks like it's one of the smaller airlines in the U.S. They're sort of a little more bright. There's this sort of a bright blue uniform. And you think you can see a smile plastered on their face? You think? But again, there is something weird about the way they're moving. They're kind of like... just kind of back and forth in this strange sort of rhythmic motion as they're moving toward you, smiling.
All right.
Would a distraction help?
Start looking around to see if maybe there's something that can be thrown.
I've got one better on you. But
All right.
only if you think it'll get us through.
You hear
I
this
don't
sound
quite
from
understand
behind
how this
you
works.
of this big metal door opening. And you see if you look and you see the big plane, the big passenger plane that you've passed, that's up a bit of a ways. You come out and you see this steward. You can see him fairly well. He looks like, he's got a dark blue uniform as he steps out, and you can immediately tell what is wrong with him. Immediately. The thing that is wrong with him is that it appears as though parts of his body are mechanical. You see, he's close enough you can see this. Parts of his body are mechanical. They look kind of not... Yeah, the workmanship does not look that... It's more robotic than human looking, right? But there are parts of him that are not, There are parts of him that still look, mostly from like the chest up, that kind of still looks human. And there are parts, of course, you can see some of the mechanical workings through the uniform, and see him just sort of stagger down, and you hear, he looks, kind of is looking at all of you, and he says, "Please return to your seats."
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna split.
Excellent. In an effort to
Distract them.
distract them. All right. So, you are going to be going up against, let's see, right now there are 3 of them. Luckily, they work for competing airlines, but we're just going to treat them as a single thing here right now. So this is going to be a pain of 6.
Sick.
Can I just say, Jim, that I love that we have competing air stewards / stewardesses in this world. It just gives me warm and
Oh
fuzzies.
man. Okay. Pain of 6, you said?
Yes, that's right. And you're splitting in 2. I need to just more. Are you doing anything weird with it, or just turning into 2 people?
So basically, I'm gonna split off. Jay's gonna go one way. Mia's gonna go the other.
Okay. I believe we set the base line for that at was it a minimum of 3 madness you needed to use for that? I think that was right.
I think that's what you said. I'm gonna
Okay.
take it up to 5,
All right, feel free.
just to be extra safe about it.
Yes, safe. Yes.
Nothing about
Oh
what
my good God.
You know what? I forgot, Dustin. What response did you check off earlier?
The one that I picked up earlier was flee.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I forgot to ask about that.
Yeah. So just real quick question on this one.
Adrenaline's still working for you right now, but sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So the split is to distract so that we can continue to get pats, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there? I think if since this is a distraction thing, can Dustin help out by trying to just grab small things and maybe try throwing them so that they land near behind one of the stewardesses or something? See if
Yeah,
they
sure,
make
you can
the
help.
noise?
Yeah, if you want to help this effort, anyone who wants to help can do so. You would roll, and we would only count your discipline dice toward it. But whatever the results of the roll are, do fall on you as well. Whenever that happens. But yes,
Understood.
you can feel free to help.
Yeah.
I don't know how Lana would.
Yeah, just gonna go ahead and go with trying to pick something up and just kind of toss it in the general direction, see if it can help with distracting.
Okay. So we're counting your extra discipline success there. So that's a total of 4 successes now. All right. That everyone who's helping this particular roll? All right. I'm rolling pain. I got 3 successes. You have a total of 4 successes. Let's see. Ooh. Looks like we're very close on what's dominating. It looks like pain is just dominating on this one. Maybe. Wait. 653, 655, 655. Yes. So pain is dominating. I will take a token of despair. And so Jay, what does this look like?
Jay does that thing again where he goes striped, blue and red stripes, and then he splits off. Red goes one way, blue goes the other, and suddenly there's one male figure and one female figure stood there. And Jay goes running off to the right, and Maya goes running off to the left. And they are making noise, clapping, shouting, woohoo, and trying to get the attention of these mechanical people to follow them while the rest of the party moves on.
Okay. So Yes, and Dustin is helping by sort of throwing these by throwing objects, basically trying to distract them. And so you see that these stewards and stewardesses, they're looking around. They're starting to basically the big one from the plane behind you starts running after. Which one went right?
Jay.
Jay starts running after Jay, bellowing, "Please return to your seat!" And it's kind of like you see he's doing a kind of the T-1000 run, and as he's dashing down the side of this thing, Jay off to the left. You're just sort of bolting straight toward the smiling one, and she's just sort of trying to reaches forward, very welcoming, sort of arms open. "Please return to your seat." And Dustin is kind of the one that's ahead of you all in red, is just sort of walking with purpose, and is you can see is being a little bit distracted by the things being thrown, but is trying to zero in on your folks, but is still far away. What are you all doing? You have an opening.
Lana's running and encourages, yells run in the process.
Chrome will follow.
All right.
Well,
Yeah. You're all leaving these. You're leaving Jay and Mia to be chased by these airline personnel.
Well, I'm hoping that they break off.
Okay. Well,
But now that you put it that way, that makes me feel awful.
you can run if you want. You can totally run. That's totally valid.
Actually, knowing the way Colm is, seeing that Jay is being chased or about to be nabbed, Colm will charge at the airline person who is about to take Jay and just dive tackle them.
Okay. Jay is in the most danger right now. So yeah, as far as that goes. So yeah, Colm, you dash forward and you're going to dive tackle that one. That one individually.
Sorry, slide tackle.
Slide tackle.
Yep.
Very different. Very different. I totally know what that means, absolutely, and will not be looking it up later. So.
Oh,
It's
sliding
what's-
feet first and kicking their legs out from under.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
The
So,
soccer term.
Colm, I need you to now, since you're just attacking that one, Colm, this is going to be a. Let's see. They individually. This one actually is going to have a pain of 3.
Can I help?
Tackling that one.
Well,
Yeah.
my intention is to try to get his attention off of Colm by yelling like, "Hey, over here," as I see him starting
Yeah,
to
sure.
run towards.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
gonna
You've got
toss,
the opening to do this. The others are distracted at the moment.
I'm gonna toss 2 madness dice in there.
Alrighty.
Not so bad.
Okay. So you've already got more successes than I can possibly roll right now, but I'm going to go ahead and roll. Okay, I've got 2 successes. You have 4 successes. And it looks like currently discipline is dominating, strangely enough. Let's see. Yeah, that won't do it all. I think I'm gonna spend one of my coins of despair here to add a. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do that to add a 6 to exhaustion, so that it's now a 6 and a 4, so that means exhaustion is dominating. So Colm and Lana, please increase your exhaustion by 1, as this is a little tiring. This maneuver. But this is going to be successful. What does this look like?
So, Colm runs over towards the steward or mechanical thing that is going after Jay, and just at the last moment just slides forward feet first and kicks out the thing's legs and looks over at Jay and goes, "Right, we're all to be running now, okay?"
And I think it's a Lana. It's like yells at it, gets its attention, and is like, look at the birdie as Colm slide tackles him from behind.
Yeah. So you do that, and the thing, he tumbles backwards and is knocked over. You kind of knock him over the side of, and sort of smashes down onto and underneath this other plane that's kind of elevated, and is kind of out of it at this point, as he's sort of trying desperately to get up, and you hear these mechanical sounds as he's trying to get up. And so you've taken that one out of commission. You put that one out of commission. Meanwhile, and Colm and Lana, you're able to proceed. Dustin, you've been running ahead, and you can see just sort of off to your left that the one in red is trying to move toward you, still at a bit of a distance. It's going to take a moment, but you think that she's going to have, she's got a lock on you. You think at this point, you're going to have a lock on you in a moment. Mia also has this this happy one, the smiling one, who's just sort of running toward Mia, arms wide open.
How much of a distance is there between the one that's pursuing Mia and Mia? Like how close is that one?
They're kind of running toward each other. So it's at least I know that Mia's probably not trying to run toward it, but toward her. But the stewardess is trying to run toward her.
I have a plan on hand how to handle this myself. If you just want to have Dustin get out of here, because that was my intention, was for everybody to get out of here.
Okay. So Dustin is going to look to see if there's a loose piece of metal around.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be like anything specific. He's looking for like a loose chunk of, preferably like a sheet.
Yes.
So, kind of a flat piece.
There is so much of that here, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Like we're in an airplane graveyard or something.
I know, right?
But don't take anything for granted. So Dustin is gonna grab a piece of metal and I want to use use a madness talent.
Yes.
Reality warp. Yes, that's right. Dustin is gonna go ahead and shape this section of metal into this just like ridiculously large, anime sword kind of thing, like the big wide blade with the 45-degree angle at the end, and, just kind of stupid outrageous.
So you want the physics-defying cloud sword? Is that what you want?
Basically,
Buster sword, baby, let's go.
Yeah. I don't actually know anything about Cloud. I just I had a friend who dressed as him once for Halloween.
Yeah, I saw it at a convention once.
Yeah.
That's how I know about it.
But so you want that big ass sword, big ass physics defying sword that is still theoretically possible to wield, even though it should be impossible. One of those, right?
Yeah.
I'd say that. Okay. So, and you're using this, I presume. Are you planning to use this against any of these folks? Is that?
Yeah, the one that's closing in on Dustin.
Okay, yeah, the one that's trying to. Yeah, there's some distance still, so I mean, you may have to run up and meet her, but yeah, you can totally. So yeah, that's going to be a pain of 2, and you'll need to use a minimum of 4 madness for that kind of thing. I think.
Okay.
Is this overkill? In this game, there's no such thing.
Just enough kill.
That's right.
Also, doesn't the city rearrange itself? So is it really that like out of the realm of possibility in the Mad City to have a physics-defying sword?
Yeah, but we still got like what, an hour and a half, roughly? Because it's when it strikes 13 is when it changes, and we were only at like 11 something.
It's not unusual for the city to produce such a thing. It is really unusual for a person to produce such a thing.
Okay, that's fair. That is a good way. My brain now understands. I was trying to make it less difficult, but that makes...
Damn, you're rolling shit hot right now, my guy. Damn.
Okay, yeah, you're doing really well. All right. I rolled too much pain. I apologize. Let me do that again. I rolled more pain than I should have. Okay, I got 1 success, and you got 5 successes. So this is going to be ridiculously successful, this effort. And let's see what's dominating. It looks to me as though madness is dominating. So Dustin, please check off another response.
All right.
What are we
this
checking
time
off?
that's going to be fight.
Fight? Really? Okay, awesome.
I mean, produce a giant freaking sword and
you produced
then
a giant
run away?
sword. You're just getting angrier and angrier as you're molding this thing, the freaking thing, as the adrenaline is coming through, the rage. And so you've got this sword, this massive physics-defying anime sword, while this stewardess, this half-mechanical stewardess, is coming at you, an expression that pure kind of like, almost like, it's almost like, you know, the angry runway model sort of walk. Also a similar deal, I think, in this particular case, as just sort of coming toward you. It's kind of still sort of almost T1000ing, kind of, basically, as just running toward you again. She's what remains of her red uniform is you know, it gives way to mechanical stuff, and sort of trying to meet you in combat. What are you doing? What do you do? What happens?
So after producing the sword, as soon as this semi-mechanical stewardess is in range, go ahead and swing.
Okay, yeah, and you're going to be successful. So
Right.
What does this look like?
So I mean, I think the way that it looks, you know, initially it's like, you know, Dustin pulls up this huge piece of sheet metal and does the initial like shape of the sword, and then you just see it's almost like stretching it out like you would do with you know, like with like an extending antenna or something, where it's just you just see this kind of like stretching motion and this pulling motion, making the sword longer and longer, and then at some point he's just like, good enough, and then moves to close in with where the stewardess is, and it's just this huge just swing, just this kind of like sideways cleave, across the width of the
I
stewardess.
feel like there's this moment of darkness when we see the sort of the silver line flash through, and
Exactly.
as you run past, and she's like, and her top half slides off and clunks to the ground, and the legs fall over, and you have cleaved her in twain. So, meanwhile, Mia, this very happy, very welcoming stewardess is trying to run forward to embrace you. What's happening?
Well, Mia, having seen the action behind, been made aware of the action behind it. I don't think she's necessarily like turned around and fully looked at it, but she has a sense of what's going on back there. I'm gonna like slide between her legs, because I'm sure at this point that that Dustin's hot on my heels. So I'm just gonna like down I go, slide between her legs, so that way Dustin has a clean shot at her and try to distract her on the way. 'Cause she's probably gonna be like, "You're going between my legs. Look down."
Okay, so you just basically want to set her up to be taken out by Dustin, essentially. Okay. So, I mean, you could just basically do this where you. What I kind of like the idea is that you're trying to direct her like right into the path of his blade as it's already swinging, possibly. So basically we have an excuse for either one of you to be the lead on this. Essentially, is what I'm saying. And so I kind of. So I mean, if you would like to, so Celeste, if you would like to be lead on it, you can totally do that.
I can do that.
But yes, this is going to be a pain of two.
Easy peasy.
To deal with this, and Dustin can also roll if you wish to add the your.
I'm gonna do one madness.
Okay.
Just one.
Just one. We only need one. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Would my 4 from the last swing be like reset at this point, or
I mean, you're gonna be fine. It's I think it's gonna work probably. I mean, we've already got. Honestly, looking at it, even matching what Celeste has already matched anything I could possibly roll on 2 dice, so we're already good. Because the ties go to the players. But yes, so I mean, we can easily do that. I'm just gonna roll. I have no successes.
Sick.
However, madness is dominating. So for Jay, and this is interesting. But so this is just for the Jay/Mia character sheet. Then you need to check off a response, please.
I think flee is appropriate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. So your flight response is kicking in. You're like, oh my god.
Keep going. Keep running.
And but so you. Oh no. So Jay, Mia perfectly slides perfectly underneath this stewardess, running forward, racing forward, leaping over hill and dale, or rooftop bits, leaping over duct and crenellation, to get to you. Roll under, and then basically, so she's running. She's like, "Please return to your," and Dustin basically decapitates her. Her head falls to the ground, and the body keeps running, and then smacks into the side of another plane. And the head is just like, "Please return to your seat. Please return." It's still saying it, but you have defeated the airline employees, and as you look around for a moment, some of you are still, pumping with adrenaline as, various madness things have gone off, fight or flight, whatever it is. But you will note, as you're looking around, and these three are down now, and you can continue running if you so wish, but you will see behind you, you can see into the, because that door is still open, the door on the side of that plane is still open. You can see there are passengers in there. And just people that are sitting in there. In their seats, like they're supposed to.
Cole very casually walks over to the decapitated head and gives it a nice hard punt out into the distance, and then looks at the rest of the people and says, "So are we helping the people in the plane, or are we still going?"
Jay circles back around to the rest of the group. Mia circles back around to the rest of the group. But they don't refuse yet. And Jay says, "We need to get out of here." And Mia says, "Now."
And Dustin's just going to kind of look and be like, in this place, it's usually a good idea to mind your own business. It really is. Besides, they paid for their flight. Let them enjoy the entire thing.
That's true. And they're probably just, I'm sure they're completely real anyway. Let's get moving.
With that, you make your way off of the rooftop and start heading in the direction of the Garden District. And I think this would be a good point to take a break, if we'd be good with that. We shall take a quick break. And then afterwards, we shall return and see where we end up. We'll see you folks shortly. we have returned. And now more things. So you folks, I presume, are heading in the direction of the Garden District. You've been heading across the rooftops, and kind of. Are you kind of angling so that you end? I just so I'll know. Are you kind of angling so that you'll end up close to the part of the Garden District that the referential information is on the business card?
That would be my intent, yeah.
Yeah, I'm following Dustin.
Okay.
Same.
So you've been heading sort of outward with a slight slant toward in the counterclockwise direction. Over the rooftops of these things. It is sort of weird because you see you run past quite a few. There's these just insane amounts of ductwork. There are pneumatic tube systems everywhere. You will occasionally run past at one point there's a rookery with a bunch of clockwork birds in it that all just sort of stare out at you in unison, creepily. And eventually,
From the bird.
they appreciate that. They have not increased their numbers for some time. But as you get closer to the opposite side, you can start to see a couple of districts from up here. This is actually a fairly decent vantage point. You will occasionally hear, you'll hear a lot of, from the district below, District 13 below, you will hear clockwork, you will hear police sirens. It is a very heavily policed district. There are basically a lot of what look like government style buildings in here. A lot of corporate style buildings. One that you can't help but see that you pass not very far from, actually, to your left, is this building with a billboard atop it that has a huge T. That actually has sort of weird as the edges, the ends kind of on either side of the T, the bar across the top, go down at the end. As it just sort of shines there, kind of looking like a cross between... It's kind of like it's made out of factory building material, but it's a skyscraper. It's the tallest, biggest building that you see. Its roof has some individuals in trench coats that you stay far enough away from that they don't seem to take notice of you all. But they don't look particularly friendly. You can't even really make out faces for them to really get a good idea of what they look like. They all look big and bulky and they move weird. But as you come to the opposite side, and you can see sort of ahead of you, directly ahead, is the counterclockwise end of the Garden District. So there is a street, kind of an open street to your left. It's not the largest of streets, but a fairly major street that runs through District 13 and is going to hit an intersection between District 13, the Garden District, and to the left, the Industrial District. And as you're coming up on it, you will see it's a little odd. So the Garden District, a lot of brick buildings, a lot of kind of almost, I want to say 70s looking, but then again, you still have buildings that look like they're from the late 1800s. You have buildings that look like they're from present day. But it sort of leans more late middle 20th century in the style of the architecture. But there are a lot of gardens on top of these buildings that you can see. A lot of arches going from building to building, and a lot of sort of hanging plants. And it's very strange because there is no sun. I need to remind everyone of this. It is nighttime. It is always nighttime here. But you have these plants that seem to be thriving okay as far as you can tell. Some of them look dead. A lot of them, and you see, you think that maybe they have a bunch of sun lamps over there of some kind. There is a divide that you will see between buildings on the front end of the district, buildings on the back end of the district. I'll get into that in a moment. You will see, of course, to your left, as you're coming up, is the industrial district. A lot of smokestacks. It looks very kind of Victorian, Edwardian era. Late 19th, early 20th century. A lot of grime, a lot of pollution. And the strange and interesting thing is it looks fairly disrupted toward this end, actually. Like, there are a bunch of buildings that there's some buildings that look like they suffered a lot of damage at some point. And you can see why, you think. Because looking down, in between, like I said, remember I said that there is a division between the front half of the Garden District and the back half. That is a river. Very dark, sort of almost in parts blackish river that snakes through the Garden District and goes across underneath a bridge to the Industrial District, where you can see, and you're not sure exactly what it is you're looking at, but on the clockwise end of the Industrial District, you see this river continues away a little bit and then pours down in this massive waterfall into a void? A big kind of circular crater-looking thing, you think. It's hard to see directly from here. But the part you can see, it's like it's pouring down into nothingness. Where this river ends. But, in the Garden District, to your right, or to the right, you can see there's this big kind of canal-like affair. It's really a quay, more than anything else I should specify, that this river goes through. It's very specifically channeled, it looks like, or tries to be, through the Garden District. And you can see down there, there are vegetable people in the Garden District. These are large anthropomorphic vegetables. A lot of carrots. A few things that are like zucchini. You see a few things that are like cabbage. There's some cabbage people. Particularly large cabbage people. larger than even the carrots, which are a little bit bigger than human size, some of them. And again, like I said, there's a front half and a back half of the garden district. The back half looks a little darker, it's a little dimmer. The odd sort of banners thrown about from back there, these sort of purple banners. There are... You can't really make out as easily, but it's like the back half of the garden district is under more clouds somehow. A bit dimmer. A lot of vines over there. Possibly kudzu, you're not sure. Which actually, yeah. I have to say you're not sure because that'd be a lot. It's a great distance still. That is what you see before you.
I've heard of Cabbage Patch Kids, but this is ridiculous.
Wait until you meet the corn mafia.
Now you're
Yeah.
just fucking with me. Definitely fucking with me.
Absolutely not fucking with you. We met one of the mobster, the corn mob, the last time we were here together.
Just
Does the Corn Mafia have ranks? Did you meet a colonel?
I didn't ask.
yeah, we didn't really have a chance to meet their leadership. Just
You didn't take a chance to bend their ear?
no.
Oh shucks.
We were just trying to avoid being stalked.
I was gonna say, oh shucks, your jokes are kind of corny.
I think this is probably when you're going to hear bicycles approaching. Up here on the roof. You can see them at a distance. These that look like things that look like children from a distance on bicycles. Riding from
Do they-
rooftop to rooftop.
Do they look like the kids from, was it the Penitence District that we met?
No,
Paper boys.
The Paper Boys?
so I'm going to be very specific here. Lana, are you talking about the kids that you met in the re-education district?
Yes, sorry. I
They
got
do
my
not look
districts
like them.
Slash had a fight with. Or
No,
those
yeah,
the
they
same
don't look
kids?
like
Oh,
either of the gangs that you encountered in the re-education
Okay.
district.
I think we should keep moving before I have to throw hands with a 12-year-old.
Yeah, like the closer
I
you
mean, that just sounds amusing, really, but we'll
Closer
follow
you
your
get-
lead.
closer they get, the less they look like people. Like they're shaped like kids, but they're
Run!
made of something
Yeah.
gray.
Let's I'm gonna just start looking around for Lou.
So you can't see him up here from up here necessarily. I guess yeah. Well, are you trying to spot him from up here before you go down? I guess.
Or if I can't like spot him directly, then at least have like maybe an idea of where.
Yeah,
he
you've
would
got
be.
a fix on where you think you should see him. It's basically going to be you've got it narrowed down. You know, it's like within a couple of blocks of where you think you should see him. Sort of, it's very close to the intersection.
Okay. So if I have a general fix of where he's at, then I'm gonna head in that direction.
All right. How are you getting down?
What do we see as, I mean, is there anything as far as like a ladder or,
So
pipes?
you have a couple of options. There are definitely pipes and ducts that you could try to climb down if you like. You could try going down inside the buildings. There might be a roof access door here somewhere. You could try going in one of the incongruous doors that are up here if you want to try to go somewhere else in the city that may or may not be close. You can look around for a fire escape if you wish, as you've seen some around here.
I think that would be my initial instinct, is to look to see if there's a fire escape nearby.
This city is rife with fire escapes. There is one, in fact. It is on the. You see that there is, the fire escape leading down to an alley that is going to put you right next to the street, just going into the intersection.
Okay. Then I think I'm just gonna turn and say, well, looks like we need to go down.
All right, lead the way.
And Dustin is going to go ahead and start climbing down.
So you head over to the fire escape, you start climbing down. The last of you to go down the fire escape, whoever that may be, will note that these kids on bikes are not kids. They are made out of newspaper. As they kind of are coming closer and closer. But you manage to get down into the fire escape before they spot you, possibly. Not sure. You clamber down further and further in this part of District 13. You can see there once again vehicles going past. Once you all manage to get down to ground level, like a paddy wagon goes past that looks like it's from the from near the turn of the 20th century. There are a couple of cops hanging on the back. They look like Keystone cops. They've got the tall hats and the long coats, and they've got keys sticking out of their backs that are slowly turning.
Is that the fashion here? Everything seems to have keys sticking out of them.
Don't know. Don't care.
Yeah, let's just avoid those.
Oh, that's very enlightening.
So, are you gonna head out of this alley on the street side, or are you going the other way?
You said you said Officer Toxman are where? On which side?
Oh, they're on the street. They're...
So they're doing like their normal, regular patrols kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Which means that as long as we don't draw attention to ourselves, we should be able to just kind of pass by. In theory.
You've done this before.
Yeah.
So heading out street.
Just gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, are you heading out street side? Is what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
And so you
can... I think as he does, Dustin is just gonna kind of like look back and at Colm and Jay and just be like, don't draw attention. It would be bad.
Is it more conspicuous when I'm like this, or less conspicuous?
Here, probably less.
All right. Staying split it is then.
So, as the five of you head out, you'll see that at this intersection, in the middle of the intersection, there is a clockwork policeman. He looks like he's, I don't know, from the 50s, 60s. He's got the flat sort of cop's hat, the traffic cop, standing there in the middle on this raised section. This is a major intersection right outside of District 13, so there are lights here, but he is directing traffic, and helping direct traffic. He again has a key sticking out of his back, and he's going and directing people through. You see basically across from you, directly across from you, in the direction you were heading, if you continue outward, is the Garden District. And of course there's, a street to your left, basically, that can be crossed, that goes to that continues along District 13. And across from you diagonally is the Industrial District.
Oh God, how did we do this last time? Oh, that's right. The gang's distracted the officer.
Are there shadows we can hide in until the cop passes?
Well, the paddy wagon is passing. It's already it's going, and it's turning to the right and moving along. But there are people walking the streets, and you do note, sort of coming up from behind where you are, so from more the inward side of District 13. You do see people wearing what looks like it looks like there are a couple of folks turn out and are walking in your direction. It's a cluster of people wearing business attire from across, again, different eras. Among them, you see a couple of folks wearing what look like sort of barristers' robes. And they have these frozen expressions. There's like 3 of them. And you hear the ticking sound. I mean, you can already hear the ticking sound.
Yeah.
As you're there, but this is compounded more by these people in barristers' robes. You're seeing them from the front, but they have these just sort of serious looks. They have serious looks plastered on their faces that have this slight sheen, almost plastic sheen to them.
Yeah, I think Dustin's gonna go ahead and try crossing the street and going along. Trying not to draw attention. Without looking like he's trying to.
Of course.
Sneak casual.
Are we all crossing with the flow of the flow of people?
Yeah.
So there are a couple of factors here. You have the clockwork cop. You have the clockwork barristers. And you have someone with you in whom they might be particularly interested if they spot them. So this is going to be a pain of 3. Who is leading? Is Dustin leading, or is someone else leading?
I assume I'm leading.
It
Unless
sounds
someone else-
apropos that Dustin would be leading.
All right. And so,
So
does
you
anyone,
said-
before you roll, does anyone want to help? So it's just Jay helping, or go ahead.
Mm.
Being inconspicuous.
I'm not sure how one helps look inconspicuous.
What did you give us the pain rating, or are you gonna do that after we decide
Three.
to help?
Pain 3.
I'm gonna sit this one out and not help in this instance.
Gotcha.
I am open to suggestions on how to help. I just can't come up with anything.
My assumption is based on what Dustin said about how I'm probably less conspicuous walking as my split self than I am as my regular self, since I'm someone with a weird power, and those kinds of people seem to be in abundance here and are not looked upon strangely. So I'm going based off that.
And Jay also, being someone who pays attention to appearances, probably would help here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way to describe it would be is being just kind of very chill and like I said, trying not to draw attention to yourself. So I guess maybe like looking to see how everybody else is just kind of strolling about and just kind of trying to blend in would be the way that you could help.
Sure, I'll give that a shot. So just rolling discipline then for helping?
Yes.
And let's see. Yeah, we'll run with the fates and see what happens.
Okay, you have many successes. 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 6 successes. I'm gonna roll my pain. I have 1 success. Let's see. Pain is dominating. I shall take another token of despair. So, this will be wildly successful, but there is pain. So, let's see. So you're able to, you're going to be crossing with the light. As you are heading in there, as you're heading across to the Garden District, you are oh yes. Okay. You're doing all right. The clockwork individuals don't seem to notice you as you are moving past. However, one interesting thing you will note is that among the cars that you are passing, like I said, there are vehicles from any number of different eras here. And when you head across, you get... Remember, as you're crossing the street, when the light is red and the cop is having them stop. And among the vehicles you are passing directly in front of, There is a horse-drawn carriage. A black horse-drawn carriage. And, it is being drawn by the driver wearing a top hat and coat and looks incredibly pale. And perched next to him on the edge of this cart. This is not a cart, it's a carriage. Is a bedraggled looking raven. That looks kind of familiar to Lana. And as you pass, you note that the raven reacts to Lana's presence. It kind of seems to hop a bit over and just sort of as it watches, and it's moving. I need to explain this. It's not moving as much as a bird typically does. Big raven sort of turns, not quite, mechanically is the wrong term, but it's very efficiently, we'll say. And it goes over and pecks the driver once. The driver is like, looks up. And you can see the driver has got very hollow eyes. And dead flesh. And the driver is watching you all pass. You can kind of see... I don't know if you're going to look over at them much or not.
If I see a familiar raven, it probably catches my eye.
You notice kind of as you're passing by, they are watching you very specifically. And the raven hops back over and is like kind of fluttering down to the window of the carriage and pecking in for a moment. Pecking in at the window. And there's sort of a flutter of like a lace curtain as this sort of this cadaverous hand doesn't pull the curtain aside, but you can see the hand, and there's something attached to it, but you can't see clearly what it is. But something looming inside the carriage. The fingers on the hand are maybe a tiny bit transparent, you're not sure.
I keep going towards our goal of getting to the garden district and clock that for later.
Yes, let's kick it down the road. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yep, it'll be fine. I don't want to do.
Fine.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but also I'm afraid of ghosts.
One must balance these dichotomies within oneself.
Who are you gonna call?
No one right now. You don't want to call attention to yourself.
True.
That is
So,
also why Lana has chosen not to do anything.
you make it across the street. And you make it to this corner the garden district. You see there are, as you're sort of moving inward, you're sort of, it's one of those things that looks like kind of a tough neighborhood, except that a lot of the brutes here are vegetables. See a lot of big, broad carrots wearing tracksuits, or things suggesting tracksuits. They don't wear necessarily the whole thing. They mark your passage, and as you enter, and you find yourselves at this point. As you're looking around. As you go in a couple of blocks, and I want to say this will be roughly at this point. You hear the clock striking 12. That you can see this. You see this van pulled over to the side of the road. This big, what looks like an ice truck. And you see it's actually, it's not very far from where the canal is, like another block or two in. But it's in kind of a sort of a wider intersection that's mostly for walking, but there is vehicle traffic here. Amongst these hanging gardens that you see all around you. Lots of vegetable people, vegetable families going back and forth. And other people, and other nightmare-like beings traversing back and forth. But you see this very large, you see this big ice truck. That's sitting there. Like a giant refrigerator type truck, maybe. And this is roughly the spot, Dustin, you think?
Okay. Going to walk towards the truck and see if I see anyone.
Yeah, the truck is currently on. Actually, no, it's turned off right now. You look around, and yeah, you see it looks like there's nobody immediately around, but then you will notice after a moment, after about a minute, as you're looking around, you see a guy coming from around the corner. And he is carrying a couple of really big, a pair of really big tongs, like a sort of ice tongs. And this is an individual who is made of water, it would appear. He is, his jacket and trousers and his hair sort of would look slicked back, all made of water. And as he comes around this corner, these tongs over his shoulder. And he will come up. He will see you checking out his truck. And he'll be like, "Oh, hey, can I help you folks?"
Cool truck.
Hey, yeah, that's the point. What you doing here?
We were in the neighborhood and noticed that you have an ice truck.
Yeah, you're very observant.
So, you sell or are you only a delivery?
He says, I mean, I can, yeah, I mean, if you need something, I can probably hook you up. Depending.
Okay. Cool.
Again, that's the point.
Right. So, what if I wanted like colored ice? You know, like something with a touch of color to it. Could you get me that?
Oh, um, nah, what do we, no, that's I don't know anything. Yeah, that's kind of a special, be a weird sort of special order type thing. I don't really know if that's the kind of thing you'd want to worry about. That's not really my line. I don't know. I don't know where you'd get that.
That's too bad. Because I know a guy who knows a guy who said they know a guy that could get them ice. You know, like if they wanted to do a sculpture for here in the Garden District.
So I'm going to just sort of give this one to Lana because this is something that you have seen hundreds of times. This is a witness trying to decide if he's about to bolt. This is the same look that you see on witnesses who are not cooperative. But anyway.
Yup. I think Lana just. Can I ask a question in response to that tidbit of information?
Sure.
Is there a likely path of escape?
For him?
Probably
Or-
his car, the truck, right? For
If he-
him, if he looks like he's going to bolt, where do I suspect he's going to bolt to?
Ah, okay. Well, it's pointed toward the canal. So probably initially in that direction.
Okay. I would like to. Well, I'm just going to keep an eye out. I don't think Lana does anything yet.
Okay.
Can I tell he seems jumpy?
Yeah, I think everyone can kind of tell he's a little nervous.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think of if I can do anything about that.
You know, Dustin, haven't drank anything since I've been here. I'm feeling real thirsty right now. But I know that this gentleman is off limits, right?
I mean, if he can't get me any colored ice, I guess I have no business with him.
Oh my god.
I think Lana joins in, and it'll be would be a shame if your ice business went under.
Okay, so you're attempting to intimidate Liquid Lou, into giving up information. So let me see if I have if I have a pain rating for him.
I just have to say, we're the nicest intimidating bunch. I mean, I know he's liquid, but we're just like, we're thirsty, man.
I mean, sometimes.
So,
you ever see?
You don't turn the screws unless you have to. Or you don't turn them hard unless you have to.
Look, Colton's genuinely thirsty. just wants to use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, Lana definitely threatened his business.
Yeah.
It's like a vampire that tries to get consent first.
Yeah. Those water addicts. Yeah.
Jay's having an
can't stop
entirely
drinking
different
water.
reaction to this.
You can see it in
because,
their
like,
eyes.
Thirsty means something totally different in today's nomenclature.
All these dry people. Well, let's see. I mean, he looks okay. So this is going to be a pain of 3. So who is leading this effort? I feel as though it's either Colum or Lana.
I think I am.
Okay. So
I'm gonna drop a couple madness dice into the
pain of 3. We're making the intimidate the dihydrous monoxide based life form roll.
I'm helping.
Indeed.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel as though this is going to be successful.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yikes.
He's shaking in his boots?
So the good news is it's going to be successful. That's the good news. Let's see. Pain is dominating, definitely, on this one. And I have 1 success. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 successes. So this is going to be ridiculously successful. But again, pain is dominating. So, what you're going to see here is it's gonna be a little bit of a pulling teeth situation here, as he kind of is backing up, and he looks like he's about to try to run, but you're able to kind of stand in the right spot so that he doesn't have anywhere to go. And he's like, hey, okay, listen to me. I can't talk here. We can't talk about this here right now. Understand? There's too many eyes.
All those potatoes.
No. Right near their territory.
Do I get the feeling he's talking about the corn mob?
Well, he responded to the potatoes, so this might be a different... The corn mob was more toward they were sort of middle right or middle clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is more from what the hang on, let me see, from what the corn wizard told you, essentially, the territory you're in right now belongs to the veggie mob, which is the biggest mob.
Okay.
But you're very close to the river, and you vaguely remember that there were like strange ritualistic things going on with the gangs just across the river.
Mm-hmm. Is there a better place to talk?
And he looks around, and it's like, and he says, "Yeah, there's a place just a little down the street."
Well, shall we, gang? I mean that as a word for a group of people, not a criminal organization.
No, he definitely thinks you're working for some mob or other. Some competing mob or other.
District attorney turned mob boss.
As you
It'll be the first time.
as you proceed, do you go in the direction he indicates?
Yeah. Lana is gonna start walking that way unless there's a reason not to.
I assume you folks are just sort of hovering around him in a semi-menacing fashion, as you walk down the street to this little pub.
Lana occasionally snaps at him.
Hear him just sort of muttering, like, "Hell do I pay protection for, you bastards?"
I think Jay and Maya are kind of in the back, because if he tries to go between them, the two of them in unison will catch him.
Yeah. So you enter this bar. This small kind of place, but it's got these sort of very private, sort of semi-private looking booths sort of on the sides, sort of into the walls on the sides. Let's see. I need, yes. There's an artichoke, standing behind the bar. Who is basically running the, is basically the bartender here. Just kind of points to or he doesn't really know. He sees you all come in and just sort of nods and he recognizes Lou, and Lou is just kind of like, and sort of notes your presence, but you all will kind of move over toward this sort of bigger booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like, "Look, I can't have information about this ice gunning all over the place. Who are you people working for? Can you tell me that at least?"
Lana looks to the rest of everyone else.
I mean, you can't have information getting out. We can't take the risk of a leak either, especially in the Garden District.
Yeah, you don't know what a leak, do you?
I was gonna say I don't want him to leak all over either.
This always happens in this district. I don't know why.
Like, vegetables are the root of all puns.
These are homegrown.
but apparently no good ones. Anyway.
I gotta disagree, Jim. I think a garden is a very fruitful area for puns.
No, we're still not there yet. Anyway. No, so he's like, okay. Look, it seemed like a very lucrative thing, okay? And I didn't know that they were going to try to sort of close in on it, right? But you're not with the eyes, right? You're not with them, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Look, they've got... I haven't put everything together all right. I'm just trying to get by. But they've had this push recently. They want the ice distributed. Okay. And they got some very... I don't know what plans they have, but they've got very specific plans for it. All I do is I fish it out of the river, where they've got a sort of a collector net held up, and they let me, they get a percentage and I sell it, okay? They want it distributed.
So, what is this ice supposed to do?
There's something about it, okay? I don't know. But it's, a lot of it is, some of it comes in particular colors. It's usually red sometimes, but it's, it's not always. There's things frozen in it. I don't know how long they've been in there. It's got to be a long time, It flows, basically all flows downriver. Out from, from the Shadow District. Flows downriver from the Shadow District. And they let me collect some of it, and they want it sold. The eyes sort of shepherd it. They try to, they catch it, and then it's mostly just mostly what I've seen is they'll either, it's pretty recent, okay? So I mean, I do have it. Are you looking to buy some? Is that what's going on here, really?
I will leave that up to my associate, but I don't think so.
What do you want to know? Do you need to know something?
Yeah, we want to know who's sending it down the river.
Oh, well, I mean that's not too hard to guess that. I mean, that's probably the
Bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably, she's the source. And I don't know, they've got plans for it of some kind. They usually they either give it to me, or this big guy comes in and collects it, and there's kind of drags it off in his it has sometimes. Well, these folks, they'll come and they'll come in these carts, and they'll take these carts out. I don't see where the carts go, but they leave this district. I know that much. The distribution route that I have, though, I've seen. I mean, I can try to make some guesses. That they take it. I've seen them across town. All right.
Hey, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
While everyone's having this conversation, I'm wanting to sort of keep an eye out with my hyper awareness, trying to make sure that that nobody can really sneak up on us.
Ah, good, excellent.
While we're having this conversation, and so nobody comes at us and catches us unawares while we're talking with him.
That's an excellent idea. I may ask you to make a roll in a moment.
Sick.
So, no, what he'll say is, look, they take these things, and I think, from what I've been able to put together, like I said, I don't know exactly where they take it. I don't know the exact location, but they go to the outward side of the media district with those carts. It looks like they're kind of targeted at... I heard a rumor, okay, that when they were out there, that they are taking them into the labyrinth. I do not know why. But that's where the bulk of the ice goes, from what I understand. There was one time when this guy in red armor recently he was there have been a lot of weird things coming out. I don't know. There's this guy in red armor. I saw this guy in red armor, and I could have sworn I first saw him in one of these big blocks of ice. Right? But then I saw him walking around, and he was the one. He went into the Eyes headquarters, and they talked, and they came out, and then this whole deal started. Where they started... I mean, I was already starting to kind of fish some of the ice out and do some stuff on the side, but this whole deal, folks started coming and collecting them in carts and taking them, if the rumors are to be believed, into the labyrinth.
So, this guy in the red armor, how long ago was that?
Not too long. Maybe it's been about... I think it's probably getting on close to, well, let me see. So the river showed up about, a bit less than, let's say maybe something like 6 months ago. And the guy in the armor showed up. Like I said, I could have swear it was a month or two. It was like about a month in is when I found out about the ice, and then it was because I needed to do something after the drama district went away, and I started picking up with the ice, and it was like sort of about a couple of weeks after that, so about like maybe 4 months ago, 4.5 months ago, I saw this big block of ice with someone that looked like him inside it. I couldn't get at, but then the eyes came out and got him. And then it was like about a week later I saw him walking around. And I saw him going to the eyes headquarters, and then something happened. And they've been taking the ice out. So for the past maybe 3.5 months, they've been taking the ice out to the labyrinth ever since.
So theoretically, anything could be in the ice.
Yeah, I don't know what it all is, but there's usually, well, if it's a big enough chunk, there's usually something in it. It's been in there who knows how long. Some of it looks like it's been in there a long time. Really long.
Do you know where the labyrinth is?
Yeah, it's kind of on the opposite. It's on the opposite side of the city from here. It's over about how would they phrase this? Yeah, it's at about so it's at about 8, between 8 and 9 or so. Or between 8, and it runs from about 8:30 to 10, something like that. Which, yeah, you're thinking of a clock. Or a clock with 13 numbers on it. Then that's probably bottom left. Actually, does Dustin have a map at this point? I think I gave you the map, or I don't know if you have a map, but I might have given it to you. You might actually know the city at this point. I don't remember.
I don't remember specifically being given a map.
No.
Yeah. At least not Dustin as a character. No.
Okay. Well, he says, yeah, there's some. There's probably. I mean, you can grab maps. They've got maps at the bar here if you want to see. At least it hasn't changed much in the last few months. And he says, sort of gesturing, and there's some stands behind the bar with it's this sort of little thing, sort of racks on the back, a couple of little racks on the wall with like maps sticking up out of them. And I think it's going to be more or less at this point that let me see. I'm going to need Jay to make a roll against a pain of 5, please.
Oh boy. I think we're gonna give it 3 madness. No, 4.
Okay.
Hope that's enough. Okay.
All right.
Could have been.
Okay,
6.
you beat me. You have 3 successes. I have 2 successes. And let's see. Looks like madness is dominating.
Oh, fun.
Do you have any responses left to check off? I'm just curious.
I have fight.
Oh, excellent. So please check off your fight response. I'll let you know what you notice.
Okay.
That kind of perhaps spurs this to happen. As you are looking, we'll need to remember this, but as you're looking as you're sort of looking out, you will note that you're going to note something in just a moment. But first, I just want to know, before we do anything else, Is everyone continuing to hang here and talk to Lou, or is someone getting up and getting maps? Or I'm just curious.
I think Lana would like to grab a map.
So
Around and listening.
the bartender is going to ask. You see, they're for sale. They're behind the bar. They're for sale. And this bar accepts wax coins and also, oh my god, I've forgotten what I did with the economy of the garden district. It was right there. I think we're just gonna go with we're gonna go with something ephemeral. Let's see. And they are so they're either these maps. You have two different kinds. You have they have the street maps and they have the subway maps. They're either 1 wax coin apiece, or the impression of a minor tool.
Lana will tell him to hold that thought and reports back to the rest of the group.
Does anyone, what are we doing? Just so I'll know. Before, the thing has not happened, Jay, yet. I'm just waiting. Just want to know what we're doing.
So run by me again. What you're telling us?
Well, I mean, this isn't a planned trip, so I don't think Dustin would have any wax coins on him. I don't think he would necessarily have had any tools on him as well either.
Mm-hmm.
At least not at this point.
Yeah. Although, it is asking for the impression of a tool rather than the actual tool itself, so that's
Lana has this idea, and Lana goes back up and puts her hands in the shape of a V over her head and says, "I'm doing an impression of a shovel."
And the artichoke looks up at you and says, which, what kind of shovel?
A gardening trowel.
Gardening trowel? You want that
Yes.
for the maps?
I was hoping you would do a trade for my impression of a gardening trowel.
All right. Give it here.
Wait, the gardening trowel? I don't have... Oh.
Sure you do.
Give the impression.
Sure, Lana will make a deal with another nightmare in the Mad City. What could go wrong? Although she's not exactly sure how to give him what he wants.
He sees you hesitating, says, "Ah, come on, you've done this before, yeah?"
I just did it
Yeah.
a second ago.
Yeah.
You want another one?
Now just move it forward. Just move. Bring it toward me, please. Hand me the trowel.
Okay. she moves towards the bar with her hands above her head.
Just to do you mime putting
Yes.
He's reaching his
Yes.
hand up. He's reaching his
Of
green
course.
hand up. And
Of course.
and you find yourself passing a physical gardening trowel to him. Have you ever used a gardening trowel?
Lana or
Lana. Has Lana ever used a gardening trowel?
No, probably not.
Okay. Now you're kind of hard pressed to identify one.
Oh.
And he has it in his hand, and he sort of pulls it down. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, miss. And he'll turn and he'll give you both maps. He'll set it down on the bar for you.
Thank you.
Oops, he says, tipping his cap. And this will be when Jay will note, coming across the street, you see looking suspicious, but you did very well on this, so you catch this very early, Jay. You see this big group of carrots. They're sort of muscling their way across the street toward the bar with purpose. And rolling into view behind them is a very large cabbage. And as you find your blood boiling with adrenaline and a fight response, this, I think, is where we're going to bookmark it for the week.
I was ready to make stew.
Lana needs to stop making deals with nightmares.
You can never make enough deals with nightmares.
That's Lana's motto, that's for sure. I mean,
Excellent.
at least it's not like she didn't pick a tool like a toothbrush.
Yes, that's very fortunate.
I feel like we're about to have a corned beef with a cabbage, huh?
Who knows? Ah, Lindy is raiding just as we're getting ready to just as we're finishing up. Hello. Hi, Lindy. Thank you for raiding. Alas, we have just come to the end of our time, as they are in the garden district, and they have just noted a large group of vegetable mobsters coming their way, as this part of the city has large anthropomorphic vegetable nightmares in it. And we're going to be delighted to find out as this group of bruisers comes forward what's going to happen. I certainly don't know, but I'm going to be excited to find out next time. But welcome all. Thank you all very much for coming. But we are at the end of our time, so we are going to go around and say hi to everybody. Or not say hi to everybody. We're going to say goodbye to everyone, probably. Yes. What time is it? What day is it? I don't know anymore. We're going to go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks anything you like. Tell them how to find you. Tell folks how to find you. Plug anything you like, and any final thoughts you had about this session, favorite bits, or what have you. Anything you would, any sort of stars, things that stand out for you. And we're going in reverse order, so we start once again with Rrok.
Hey, I'm Rrok. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet as Rrok and Roll. This is pretty much the only place that I'm actually gaming at the moment. So you'll be able to find me here on Monday nights. Other than that, I really liked the fight scene at the airport, and then coming into the vegetable district, and just kind of getting back into an area that we spent a bit of time in the last arc, especially with there being hints of needing to possibly revisit areas, some other areas that we had been to. So yeah, as always, it's a blast playing games here.
Yay! Awesome. And now we will head over to Celeste.
What's up, y'all? I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't do a whole lot of streaming of my own, and currently this is kind of the only channel that I'm on for streaming and such. But I will, as always, plug Tales to Inspire, a lovely little actual play podcast that takes a look at if superheroes actually existed throughout our history. We are rapidly approaching the climax of season 1. And season 2 will likely be soon to follow. I am super excited for that. And at some point, you may hear my voice over there, getting to play a character or maybe two. So if you are interested in a nice alternate history with superheroes sprinkled in, I suggest you go give them a listen because they are fantastic folks over there. And you may also want to check out their other productions, Misconceptions and Sins of the Father. A couple of really good shows that are just really fun listens, and they do a phenomenal job every time. They always bring the good stuff. So it's good to hear. I am super excited to get to continue to play this character. I have been having a blast, and it's been... I played a little bit more with the split this time and keeping them split, and I really do enjoy... I hope it's been interesting to hear the two different voices that I'm using and not irritating or grating, because I'm really enjoying playing two characters in one. But yeah, I can't wait for more shenanigans, and I can't wait to pick right up with me being in fight mode and a bunch of carrots coming through the door. I am about to go absolutely sicko mode on these boys. I can't wait. This is gonna be so much fun.
Me neither. I think this is going to be delightful as we roll into this.
I'm gonna make salad.
It's gonna be a salad shooter.
So many vegetables. And now we will head over to James or Jimbeaux.
Hey, I'm Jimbeaux or James Silverstein. Speaking of alternate histories, I write hard-boiled detective fiction that takes place in a 1940s, 50s, and 60s, where one of the projects during World War II that came to fruition was necromancy. And now that genie is out of the bottle, it may be illegal in every place in the world, but illegal doesn't mean it's not done. The detective fiction, not to blow my own horn too much, but it's friggin' awesome. I've written 3 novels in that. The first being Necropolis, the second being The Case of the Scarlet Starlet, the third being To Wake the Dead. I am currently working on novels both 4 and 5 in the series. You can find them on Amazon. As for the game, I'm enjoying the fact that Colm believes that this is all a hallucination brought on by an ayahuasca ceremony. I also enjoyed the fact that I got to play good cop, bad cop by threatening to drink a sentient being made of water.
Oh, no.
It was a joy.
It was so good. Yeah. No, I loved when we were able to lean into all of these tropes. It was so good. Awesome. And yes, definitely go check out that fiction, folks. Definitely. You do yourself a favor. And finally over to Nash.
Hi, I'm Nash. I'm also not doing anything on the internet right now other than this. But I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed also the good cop, bad cop, the over-the-top cop bit we had. Lana was the over-the-top cop. Definitely didn't have to threaten his business. But I guess we got information, and we have a couple of different directions to go now. And a map, and a lost memory of what in the world a trowel is.
Yes, unfortunately.
You know what? The map is more important than a memory of a trowel.
That's fair. Yeah, no, you shall have to relearn how to use a trowel if you ever wish to. If you ever learned in the first place. But yeah. It'll be all right. So, I'm sure everything will be fine.
She had fake plants in her district attorney office so that she didn't have to remember to water them. So
That's good. That's good.
You know.
Yeah. I'm sure those maps will do you some good. I mean, it's not like it's less than an hour from the time when the city changes. Oh wait. Oh well, never mind. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Didn't think that one all the way through.
It's been the same for months. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
No,
now that I've thought about it. I've played this game with you before, Jim.
I'm sure we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, so very interesting thing there. I think this is. I think I'm going to be just very interested to see how things come out next week. Just because this is there's now a hunt for something. We're not sure what direction folks are going to go in next time, but I can't wait to see which direction you decide to go. I think that's going to be great. But finally, who am I? Great question. This evening, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. Tomorrow night, provided everything is in alignment, we should be getting back to our campaign of Electric Bastion Land, as we've been tasked to go down into the tunnels to retrieve a couple of thrones that are golden, made out of gold. Surely everything will be fine. That should be simple to transport. I'm sure we won't run into any problems whatsoever. And then, of course, on Friday, we have the other arc that is currently going on in this Don't Rest Your Head multi-group campaign. That is the Boiling Point, and they've made deals with the broadcast last time, and I find that a delight, an absolute delight. The broadcast did so well in that deal. So I can't wait to see kind of how they navigate what comes next, as they're very close to trying to escape the city. They're very close, very soon, maybe. We'll see. And then, of course, 1 week from today, Monday night, more of this. So I just can't wait. I can't wait until we get into this. However, in the meantime, when we hit the end card, we're going to send a raid over to, let's see, Fabled 42 is doing some stuff. They have a game they have, looks like it's called Crypt Creatures. And so we'll see if we can go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That'll be when we hit the end card, once again. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.